So they're excelling on the playing field, but among the issues facing high school athletes, primarily at-risk students, is to have the tools to excel off the field as well, especially when it comes to education. Well, one nonprofit has made it their goal to guide these students onto the right path. Joining me now for more is Michael Eck, who is the Executive Director of Steer for Student Athletes. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
So Steer for Student Athletes, how did you come about?
We started this about 3 years ago. Having been a former college athlete and having participated in a number of programs like Steer for Student Athletes, had in the back of my head that there was a good way to develop a model to use sports as a vehicle for education.
So now, was it something that you saw? Was there one particular case that sparked the need to create this, or did you just take a big look around collectively and say?
There are a number of programs throughout the world. My former day job allowed me to travel all over the world, and I saw programs that were using sports to really change outcomes. And the spark was, how could we do that here in a developed world that has still many at-risk kids that need direction? So it was to take part of the models that I saw in other places and attract some experts here to develop a model that would work here.
So you named it Steer for Student Athletes. So just break that down for us, the mission, if you will. Well, you just hinted at it, but how did you come up with Steer for Student Athletes?
Yeah, it's really, I describe it, there's a number of wonderful programs, and I had an opportunity to participate in. And I describe this as Big Brothers, Big Sisters on steroids. So what we effectively do is we assign a Steer advisor that is within their community, a teacher, a coach, a principal, a guidance counselor that serves as a role model for these student athletes. And we wrap around tailored services to their needs. So it's not one size fits all. Every student athlete is different, every family is different, every community that they're in is different. So we tailor the services and hopefully use our role models really to give them an example of what we're trying to accomplish.
Michael, what are some of the obstacles just in the 3 years it's been that you've seen facing, the students?
There is a program that has been developed, I'll toot his horn a little bit, Joe Durney, who is one of our board members, who has spent his whole life evaluating at-risk and successful at-risk programs. Developed a very mathematical, scientific, to some point, 21-point program to identify at-risk characteristics that can be changed on a sustainable basis. So these range from home circumstances, one-parent home, sometimes no-parent home, poverty level, income. A lot of it has to do with your first language. English as a second language learners are a big part of our program.
Language barriers.
Language barriers, the type of education that they're getting in the school systems that they're in, some better than others. So a whole host of factors that we evaluate to judge whether we can effectively change those outcomes.
Are you based here in the city, or where?
So we are based in Rye, New York.
Okay.
We operate in 3 school districts now: Port Chester, New York, Yonkers, Palisade Prep, and we just entered New York City and the first school in the South Bronx, Urban Assembly of Sports Management Careers. And so we are, I say, 3 districts, and we just hopefully bit off a lot more in our ambition with New York City.
You're looking to expand, I imagine, though.
We just launched a program to have basically 5 times as many kids in the program as we have today. We have 21 kids in the program, and we launched an effort, a campaign, basically to have 100 kids in the program in the next few years.
Some of the results, what's been the results that you've seen?
The way we judge ourselves is, the final mission is successful graduation from high school and on to a additional education or a career. But we're measuring success throughout the program all the time: academic success, social success, and lastly, and people say it's athletics. We measure success on the field as the least component. The most important component is really social, academic, and then athletics, and ultimately graduating from high school and on to a successful career after.
Now, are the students in the program, are they receiving the message? Are they understanding, like, no, sports will come later. Right now, we need you to concentrate on this so it will help impact that. Are they receiving?
They receive it in a number of different ways, but the most effective way is dealing with their steer advisor. And their steer advisor drills that home constantly. And it's social, it's academic, and then it's sports. And they see it through that steer advisor. And that steer advisor is really our delivery mechanism for role modeling. And that, again, that has apparently been the most successful, sustainable change in outcomes.
What's your website, so if someone wants to help? Or how can someone become a steer advisor? You know, do you pre-screen or do you select? How, if someone wants to become
our website is steerforstudentathletes.org, just like it sounds, so I can understand it. And on that website, there is a way to, if you have an interest in becoming a steer advisor, you can let us know. And that is, again, that's our most important tool. It's our most important vehicle. We train them, and what I say in the steer image, to be effective in dealing with their student athletes. And we have great, very, very high ambition growth plans.
Is it tough not to get connected, or is that just part of what comes with being a steer advisor? I mean, because in a lot of ways, you know, that relationship, knowing that someone is viewing you as a role model and is trying to emulate, you know, and remember certain things there. I imagine there can be a bond that's there, you know. Is that...
It absolutely, and again, we're using sports as the vehicle, so all of us have some background in sports, and as I tell the kids, we've made all the mistakes that you are going to make or we're trying to prevent you from making. So it absolutely, and the biggest reward is to see them in the classroom, in their family situations, and yeah, on the field, having the character and the sportsmanship that reflects our values.
Now, which sport were you, basketball?
I was a football player. I was a college football player.
Okay. All right. I saw the height. I was like, I knew you did something. All right. So nice to meet you, Michael.
Very nice to meet you.
We'll put the information up on our website.
Thank you.